Thank you for joining us. I'm Stacy Siegel with Engel & Volkers, and I'm sitting here today with Danvy Pham, a local artist in Venice, who's going to tell us about what she does around town. Hey, Danvy.
Hi, Stacey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for coming here.
Yeah, of course. This is her studio. And I'd like to ask you, how did you decide that you wanted to be an artist, drawer? What do I call you?
I think an artist, yeah. It was really accidental. I started out having a very traditional childhood where I wasn't creative at all. And so in my early 30s, I rebelled against that lifestyle and started taking acting lessons. And it was through a voice coach and an acting teacher. She was in her 90s, and her acting teacher was Clark Gable's wife. And she took acting class with Marilyn Monroe. So I was so blessed to be able to study from this wise woman who really had a hard time accessing my emotions and my voice just because of the way I was brought up. And I just wanted so desperately to access this. And it was hard. We had ups and downs with it. And she's like, "What else do you do?" And I said, "Well, I kind of doodle and paint for fun." And it was completely accidental. She looked at it. She's like, "This is it." I'm like, "Well, this is what?" And it was really, she's like, "This is where you're not thinking. You're not thinking in these paintings." And I said, "What does that mean?" She's like, "This is where I want your acting to be. I don't want you to think about it. I want you to just be free." So then the light bulb kind of hit my
That's
consciousness.
amazing.
Yeah, and then selfishly, I really just did it to get better at being an actress. And so I did it more and more in practice, and then I actually really enjoyed it. And then with practice, I just developed my own style.
And so, how did you, I think you have a pretty decent fan base. So
Okay.
how did that happen? How did you turn the light bulb into suddenly a flourishing sort of business that people
Well,
are
it all
interested
just
in?
really started with just portraits, because that's what I did in the beginning, watercolor portraits. And then through the years, I bridged into really using it as an emotional outlet. And I started doing Kundalini yoga and studying wellness. And I realized that it was all really interconnected. The body, what you feel, releasing, letting go, feeling things, and deepening, knowing yourself. And so then I started to express myself more in my paintings of how I was feeling. And then I just started creating all these emotions and messages and teachings through my paintings, and I really enjoyed it. So that's how they came about.
Do you have one that you could show us an example of, that you could
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about what your intention was and what it kind of feelings and things it evoked for you?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
I have a really fun one. This one's fun. So, I've had a lot of relationships in my life, good, bad, creative, eccentric love romances. But for me, the journey is really about finding yourself, your individuality, through a relationship, but maintaining your independence. So this painting is called Interdependence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about two people really connected, as you can see in their third eye. And the woman usually is the force between the relationship. She's
Nice.
the wise soul that raises a man's consciousness, and that's the yin and yang factor. So that's why his head is a little tilted, because she blasts him with her wisdom. But then together, there's a circulation of energy through the feet. And then also they have their own triangle, which is their own identity. And then they share one together, which is the third eye of the union. So they're both continuously evolving. As you can see, their hearts are open, because in their union, they are constantly growing and having lessons and really going through hard times together, but really loving each other. So these are some of the messages I like to, create in my paintings.
And does this represent a relationship in your life?
Definitely, I think all of them, because I think, every person you meet really is a lesson for you to realize, oh, I still have some issues I haven't resolved. I'm repeating a pattern. I need to look at this pattern. Or this person really helped me grow. I mean, I think every person you meet has a lesson for you.
Of course, yeah. We're all just mirrors, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. It's amazing. So I understand that you also are a Reiki master.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, it all started out with, I had some health issues in my early 30s, and luckily a doctor, a Western doctor, had told me to seek out yoga to heal my ailments. And I don't know how he knew to push me towards Eastern medicine and all this wellness practice, but I did. I listened to him, and then I learned how to heal my own body by doing Kundalini yoga. And I started acupuncture, and I just took an interest, and I saw that it really healed the ailment I had, and I saw the power of that I was the placebo. A lot of things we manifest in our body is really emotional, and through deep DNA patterns of our ancestors or parents, and that you have the ability to identify it and really transform it by releasing it. What you resist persists, and what you don't feel remains, and then it manifests into some kind of ailment. So luckily, that happened to me, and I took an interest in the past 15 years with that, and then slowly got my certification in Kundalini yoga teaching, and that helped me have a stable flow of like self-identity and realizing my strength. And then I really took interest in Reiki. And I just really love to meditate, and when I transfer energy to my patients, it's also a meditative practice for me because there's a lot of stillness, a lot of like transferring, a lot of healing, and just putting that person in deep meditation really makes me feel like I'm just giving back. But that's really the second session of our Reiki session. Usually I sit the person down, we have tea together, and there's a lot of like communication, and I help my clients kind of transform whatever that's going on in their lives with book advice or meditation chants that they could do in their life that just kind of guide them and maybe awaken them to maybe something they don't see in themselves. And then the deep relaxation part of the Reiki is just to relax them into what we just talked about so they can receive the message and really apply it when they go back outside.
And where do you provide your services? Do you do it here?
It's all here.
Nice. And why did you choose Venice to live in and to have your studio in?
I just love Venice. It's just close to the ocean. It's a great community. I think there's an eclectic of a wide range of different kinds of people, and where it kind of reminds me a little bit of New York, where there's just like a hub of just everything, and I love that charm about it.
Great. And where do you see your business going, or what direction do you see yourself going in the next year?
I would really like to see it in head towards like a conscious goddess kind of practice where I can be a source for people to come to me, whether it's for Reiki, whether it's home design, paintings, or making portraits for your children, your family, or really just to sit with me and say, hey, I need guidance with my daughter, my children. What do I do? How do I parent? How do I move through this relationship problem I have? I just feel like I have received so much knowledge from so many wise mentors and teachers in my life, and through different practices, that I have so much information that I can give back. So I know it's kind of odd to have, I don't really have a title for that, except for maybe the conscious goddess.
I love that.
Yeah, and then through that, it's like whatever you need, I can help you.
Right, well, you definitely have that energy because I was immediately attracted to you when we met a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So where do people find you?
My Instagram account, Danvy Pham, or my website, danvypham.com.
Great. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Danvy.
you.
And thank you for joining us. And if you'd like to be interviewed, you can find me on Facebook, or you can click on the link at the bottom of the page and submit your information. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Susie.